by the time the oil gets to the port, maybe the bill of lading has not arrived because it is changing hands, moving from one destination to the other. So for you to be able to take possession of your goods, then you need a letter of indemnity, okay, or a bank guarantee, which says that you have the bill of lading is coming, and that you need to take possession of your goods. Usually it is given by the charterer to the cargo owner so that he can use it to take possession of the cargo as required. So it is used when the original bills of lading cannot be produced. Then the last owner of the cargo would usually give a letter of indemnity to the ship owner or time charterer. Okay. Usually an agent will not receive a letter of indemnity. It will be wrong for you to do that. If you receive a letter of indemnity and anything happens, you will be charged or you'll be made to pay for the goods which you never took delivery of. Okay.
Is letter of indemnity and the bank guarantee, are they the same or different?
No, they are different. The letter of indemnity is only a letter saying that you have released the goods to me and I'll be paying. But usually what they do is the ship owner will require that letter of indemnity, you have a bank guarantee attached to it. That your bankers have agreed that should you not be able to pay for the goods that you've taken delivery of, they will pay. So it's not advisable for you to receive a letter of indemnity without a bank guarantee. The law courts will not support you if you do that. It says that the letter of indemnity indemnifies the captain for handing over the cargo. But it's a part of the tanker trade, so they have come to accept it as such. But in the other trades, often if you don't bring the letter of the bank guarantee, they will not release it to you. Even for the tanker, if the person is not well known to you, you still need a bank guarantee. Another document is delivery order. The delivery order is when you are releasing part shipments. That is, the cargo is not going to one consignee but several consignees. But the bill of lading is more or less one document. So for you to be able to release the cargo to the various consignee, then you need a delivery order. Okay. So in essence, it replaces the original bill of lading. It has virtually the same contents as the bill of lading, except that in law courts they will recognize it as being a delivery order and not a bill of lading as such. It's usually issued by the shipping company against the returning of the complete set of bill of lading. So you have the delivery order, you have apart from the delivery order, you have the other documents like notice of readiness, statement of fast, timesheet, port log, and certificate of delivery. We'll be looking at them in documents. Yes. The other documents in the chartering, that is the notice of readiness, is when the ship gets to the point where it has been agreed in the charter party that she should be before she becomes what we call an arrived ship. So, for example, if the ship is supposed to be carrying cocoa beans from Tema, but in the charter party they've agreed that when she gets to the Tema anchorage, once she is ready, she should call or send a written notice saying that she is ready in all respects to begin loading. Then that will be the notice of readiness. They have times, it will be specified in the charter party, the times that a notice of readiness can be given. And it's usually at any time of the night or day, and on Sundays and even on public holidays, to tell you that you can give a notice of readiness. And they will tell you within which time that it will be accepted for the lay time to count. We said that the lay time is a time set aside for the loading or discharging. So once you receive the notice of readiness, maybe they will tell you after the receipt of notice of readiness, 1 hour or 2 hours or maybe 5 hours after receipt, then you should start counting the lay time, so that you might not be in port necessarily for the lay time to start counting. Once you've given the notice and the time agreed elapses, then you can start counting. So maybe for one reason, let's say a ship that was supposed to leave the berth for you to come there is still there, and she's there even 2 days into the time. Once the late time starts counting, you just record it. So the charterer will then have to pay for time he never used. But because the notice of readiness had been given and accepted and the late time had started, then he still has to pay you. Okay. And usually a notice of readiness will read like time to count as per relevant charter party. So you have to look at the charter party to see when the late time is supposed to start counting. So notice of readiness, statement of facts will give you the various information about the ship's operation in the port. That is the time she arrived, the time she departs, the time she starts loading and discharging, and so on. And it is from the statement of facts that a timesheet is compiled. Okay. The timesheet is the actual time that is used for the cargo work. And it's very, very important that this time is accurately recorded, because that is what is going to determine whether you are going to go into demurrage or not. So it's very, very important for it to be accurately kept. The statement of facts would also mention any possible delays. For example, today I was in the port and then the rains made as if it was going to come. So the chief mate closed the hatches, and then the agent was mad. He ran up. Why have you closed the hatches? Don't you know the time is running? He was actually almost in tears that the ship was, they kept closing the hatch. And the cargo they were discharging to can be damaged by the rain. So they were trying to protect their interests. But the agent wanted the cargo off as quickly as possible so that they don't run into demurrage. Okay, so any possible delays has to be captured. Okay, it's usually signed by the captain or his agent acting on his behalf, okay, as well as the party involved in the cargo, that is the cargo agents. The terminal or installation would also co-sign.
Yeah. Please, in situations where delays aren't anybody's fault. Maybe, like you are saying, it rains heavily and it's not possible for them to offload the cargo. So in this case, who bears the brunt?
If there are delays for things like, as you are saying, rain, or maybe if you are up there, snow, you record it. The time the rain started, you record. The time is stopped, you record. So it will be, when it comes to capturing the time, that on the timesheet, it will show as that. So they will deduct all that from the actual time spent. So in actual fact, it doesn't. But with this man, what he was really worried about was that they have booked the bed. Okay, so the bed. As for the bed, they don't care whether it is raining or not. You are going to pay anyway. So he was not happy because of the delay, which was going to result in that. So the timesheet provides the fact. I mean, is the sheet or the paper capturing the facts which comes from the statement of facts. So it will, but it shows only the information which is going to be used for calculating the actual time used, and therefore the demurrage, if any. Because if you have agreed to use 5 days, and from the statement of facts and then the timesheet recordings you've used 6 days, it means you have to pay the ship owner for the 1 day excess. So it has to be accurately kept. It says this information forms the basis for calculating the dispatch or demurrage money. Other documents, port log, as for that, it contains so much information, the time you stayed in the port, the amount of fuel on board when you arrived, when you are leaving, the drinking water delivered, the number of tugs you used, the draft of the vessel. It has so much other information, but it's not, even though it is kept, it's not as relevant to the information as the timesheet and the statement of fact for the carriage of the cargo.